Today we're going to be making a stamp on our own. We're going to use a block of wood and some craft foam. For the block of wood, you're going to take it and put it on the foam because we want to measure how large we can draw a shape. Now Kandinsky, he created circles. You do not have to create circles. You're welcome to create whatever shape you like to. So within this area, I need to draw a shape, whatever it is, the largest that I can, because this is going to be my large stamp. Remember how Kandinsky had large circles and the medium circles and small circles kept getting smaller? This is your largest shape. You will have to make this shape again 3 times. So make a shape that you can create again and make it look the same every time. So I'm just going to create an oval, but I'm going to make it as large as I can in this area. It can be an organic shape or a geometric shape. Either one is fine. So we're going to cut out that shape and glue it onto the block, and that will create our stamp. Now while this if your glue is not working, pick off the dry glue on the top. Alright. And then stick that in a block of wood. And while that's drying, you can create your medium-sized stamp or shape. So again, I want it to be smaller than this one, but the same shape. So I think I have enough room right here to make another one. I might even be able to scoot it down a little bit. Okay, and then a really small one for the third piece. So we have a large, medium, and small, and I'm going to fit this small right here. Cut out those two. We're going to glue those on as well. Measure it against your large one. Now, I didn't make that small enough because when I print that, I'm not going to see very much of my large piece, so I'm going to make that one just a little bit smaller. You can trim the edges. Okay, now I'll be able to see an outside ring of the large one. So there's my medium, and then I'm going to cut out the small. Again, you can measure it to make sure you're going to be able to see it, and that one's fine. So you have this side of the block is for large, this side of the block is for your medium. And then one of the edges is going to be for your small. So you've created your 3-part stamp. Let that dry, set it aside, and while you're waiting for it to dry, you can get your paper ready. Write your name on your paper. And we're going to fold this paper into 6 sections so that we can create 6 different areas, kind of like Kandinsky's painting. We're going to fold it hot dog style first, which means these corners are going to touch these corners. Hold the corners still. Once I get that corner lined up, I hold it still, line up that corner, and then I use my thumbs to crease the bottom while I'm still holding my corners. That makes sure that it doesn't move. Okay, for this next fold, we're going to fold this into 3 parts. We want to divide it into 3 equal spaces. So you're going to need to take this side of your fold and fold it 1/3 of the way. Open up that fold, and then you're going to take this side of your paper and fold it in another 1/3 of the way. We should have pretty equal spaces when we open them up. If it helps you to visualize it, you can section it off maybe by making a small pencil mark knowing where you want to create your folds. We're going to open up this paper, and now we're ready to create prints in each section like Kandinsky did. So hopefully this large one is dry. That's the only one we need today. You're going to choose a paint color and get a paintbrush. Large paintbrushes work best for this. Dip in the paint and paint it on top of your stamp. The trick for painting on the stamp and not on the wood is painting from the inside out, and when you are painting out, kind of lift your brush up so it doesn't go down on the block. So paint out and kind of lift up when you get to the edge. There's a lot of ripples in my paint. I'm not sure if you can see that, where there's still a bunch of paint there. I want to spread all that paint out before I get more. Now what can be frustrating with prints is that they're not always exactly perfect. Like we may have too much paint in one area and not enough paint in another area. So we'll see what happens when I pull this print. But if you get a print that's not perfect, don't get frustrated with it. I'll show you how we can try to fix it. So we'll turn this over and we're going to start in the first block. I'm going to try to center it as best I can. I'm pushing down really hard. It's easy to let this kind of slide around. Try not to let it slide. Push down and then lift straight up. Okay, so I've got a pretty even print. I have some areas that are open. Don't worry about those. We're going to print another shape on top. So we'll move on to the next one. Same concept for all 6 areas. Paint it on. Try not to get it on the wood. Put it in the next area. Push straight down and then straight back up. Okay, again I have some spots that I missed, but no big deal. We'll come over to, or go over top of those later with another small shape. For this next one, I'm going to try to mess it up a little bit so that you can see what to do if you happen to pull a print that's not the best. I'm going to push it down real fast and lift back up. I missed a lot of the area because I didn't push down really hard. If I'm going to print again, I have to really make sure that I get it in the exact same spot. So you tilt up your, let's see if I can hold this sideways. Tilt up your block and make sure that your eyes can be under the block, and line up the top of your stamp with the top of the print. So I'm going to bend my eyes down, my head down, and I'm going to find the edge, and then I'm going to push it straight down on top of there, trying to get it in the exact spot as I did before. And then lift straight up. As long as you can line it back up, you can make another print. It straight down and lift it back up. Okay, so you've created your large prints. They're all in different areas and they're all pretty well balanced. When you're finished printing, just get a wet rag or paper towel and wipe off your old paint.